This is Opineoneer, the offer of tour. Stretch forth your hands and strike the elemental strings. Awake the thunders of the deep. Bring up out of that deep considering mind all that you have discovered in the grave. W.B. Yeats. Real singing is a different breath, a breath for nothing, a wafting in the God, a wind. Rilke. Sir, after my best respects to your excellency and family, I wish to inform you that I have some intention of undertaking this new road that is to be cut through the wilderness, and I think myself entitled to the offer of the business as I first marked out that road in March of 1775, and never received anything for my trouble. And suppose I am no statesman, I am a woodsman, and think myself as capable of marking and cutting that road as any other man. Daniel Boone, letter to Isaac Shelby, February the 11th, 1796. Only the dead can be forgiven, but when I think of that, my tongue's a stone. W.B. Yeats. Almost a girl it was, and issued forth from this concordant joy of song and lyre, and clearly shining through her springtime veils, she made herself a bed inside my ear. Rainier Rilke. Praising, that's it. One appointed to praising, he came like the oar forth from the stone silence. Rilke, Sonnets to Orpheus. DBO, unbowed spry old fart of the territory, once upon a now, out on an uncut, unclear semblance of old track, in the muddle of an indeterminate state between the Cumberland and the Ohio, somewhere south of Big Bone Lick, as lost as all our beginnings. Where, oh where is Athawamani? The warrior's path is lost. Give it over. Hey there, Mr. Nowhere man. Shout out there with your nowhere plan. Yes, yes. Facing fading faces streaked with sweat, gray as elmash in a wood stove. How many dead ends has old Who dug their way into out there, trying to refine the main line, eternal energy tap? And when, oh when did the fire go out and the dead certainties all grow cold? Go the wave bye-bye, leaving ashy faces. Would that mere repetition of the old verities could generate enough friction to kindle the flames of burning truth? Don't hold your breath. Not enough wood left in there to burn. Was it when the last old feller, under the lid of a broad-brimmed, sun-faded beaver felt hat, that had seen too many hot days, shapeless, worn, hand and sweat-stained, and who wore bib overalls over his long-sleeved, long underwear, summer and winter, who stayed seated daily during warm weather on an old church pew, under the candy-striped awning of the People's Bank, finally got tired of the empty candle shop across the empty street after the hippies all went south, and tired of staring up at the expanse of candy-striped tin and listening to the drone of Red True's idling diesel, gave up the ghost of a town and tuck up a residence in the Masonic hillside, out on the edge of the one-time port. And was that after or before life used a mill-blasted file on everyone's ostensibly high aspirations, or crushed them beneath a soggy roller bale of grayed-out K31? How many divorces have you had? One, and one died. Ever finished anything? Nothing big. Maybe you need a bit more debt. That'll get you going. With the aisles, this and that, drifting toward here and there, elsewhere, facing hard, slow going with the prospect of retirement, winners with no prospect of retirement, winners of paved-over jungle, away from the fresh ocean breezes, nomadic RVism, breathless errand running. They've cut all the thicket they want, have they? Kidding themselves they possessed a higher purpose, hands ragged with thorns, dry mouths, blood-pounding and sweating heads. On the way to the next plateau they went at it. But now, boy, that last climb was hard. The air's thin up here, uninhalable. It's like, remember this? Jack Kerouac trying to keep up with Jaffe Ryder on the steep slope of the Sierras, falling further into despondence. Now facing inertia and drift, facing faces sagging and drooping, faces sagging with gravity. How many tuxes who had to keep the ears out in that visage? With voices hard, brittle casts of cigarettes smoked, aimlessly milling about in the middle of nowhere. In this account, that's the space between back there and the undefined, wherever we will have a hand in it of tomorrow, or the descent into what's in this for me, the creeping disease of self-interest. We're never going to get there anyway. We're not going anywhere anyway. This ain't naught but delusion trying to cut an imaginary way through this hey there, Mr. Nowhere plan. What's the hurry? Have another cheeseburger. Let's smoke another dude. What about a beer? Ain't anybody got any water? I think I'll slide on back to the coffee camp and drink the bitter brew. Trying to make heaven out of the wasteland. It'll never fly. This is Kentucky, man. We have aluminum-lined roads. We don't need to beat our way through no vines. We've seen enough ice-blasted stickwood on ridges impossible to traverse. Let's drop down to the pavement. Take the easy way. It's too steep here. This rock is too rough. I've scarred my legs for life. If there's anywhere in this country worth getting to, you can get there on one of our roads. And if you can't, it ain't worth going to. The hell with this author and his metaphysical thicket anyway. The verses of discontent, mounting in number with every line. The arm-waving throng with blear eyes and threatening gesture is moving menacingly toward a retreat to consumerism. But this staunch, old rebooted ones heard all that before. Listen to all the empty bitching and twisted discontent, tales of failed, we wanted to have a community, breezy explanations of sold-out aspirations, the knots and cramps that make up day-to-days. I have something to do a man could make money at. I have to have something to do, something a man could make money at. We failed because our own swollen human smallness got in each other's way. Aperture down to little me from flower child dreams.